What's up YouTube? It's NG, the Neon X, and I'm back. As you guys know, Microsoft held their Surface event this week, and they unveiled a lot of really neat devices. Of course, my interest lies in the Surface Duo 2. So today I want to discuss what we saw, what they said, what I found, what I've read, and really get into the potential of what the Surface Duo 2 has to offer. With that said, this is what I'm into.
Now everybody scream enough respect to the X. Enough respect given.
Alright, let's get into what was, what wasn't, and what I hope will be. First off, the Duo 2 looks amazing. It's not a huge departure from the original Surface Duo, but they changed the design just enough that there is a clear difference between the two devices. Curvature was what they were going for with this updated design language for the Duo 2. The edges curve, the inner display curves, the camera bump curves. You know, it's a very smooth, intricate design for it, and I have to say I like what I saw. Like the leak had said, they did indeed give us the 120 Hz refresh rate on each display. The displays are synced so that as you scroll on one, the other one stays in sync with what you scroll through. So even though there are two displays, they act as one display, so there shouldn't be any distortion when you're reading your emails, checking your websites, scrolling through your web pages and media sites. So that was cool. Along with the display, they did get bigger. Even though based on the videos that they had, you couldn't really tell how much bigger they were. But it's not a huge size difference. So again, the leak was correct. 5.6 to 5.8 on the size of the display. There was one thing that was mentioned in the leak that I personally didn't understand how it was going to be accomplished. And now that I've seen it, it's a very intriguing idea, and I like the way that Microsoft is really trying for that next generation futuristic tech on this futuristic device. The inner screens curve when they meet, so that makes it easier for you to read. It's more akin to a book. Move out from one side to the other, because you won't have the hard line between the apps where sometimes if you were using the pen, it would hit that line, and whatever you were trying to move to the other screen would get dropped. But when you close the phone, the curved screens are still displayed along the outer bezel. What Microsoft did, they made that a notification display. Now, I would have never thought of that, and you know, I was saying what I wanted on the device, and somehow that never crossed my mind. Use the outer hinge to add an external display, but not one that could be easily damaged, but one that you could somehow still read and see certain notifications and things along those lines. So with the displays curving in, you can still view at the right angle the display itself, and it does show you these things. I thought that was such an amazing idea, and based on the images, it seems to work really well. I do hope that there is some kind of interaction with those curved displays, because they are still touch based. Like maybe slide your finger on it to raise the volume of a call or music. I know there are buttons on the other side, but it does have a little slide there that could interact in whatever way with what you are listening to, or maybe something else. I'm sure the developers could really think of how to use that side display, but very intriguing, and I applaud Microsoft for that. Very well done. It really does get rid of the need for an outer display. So I applaud Microsoft for that. That was a huge surprise, and even though I read about curved screens on the Duo, the execution of it on this new Duo completely caught me off guard. So I'm happy about that. The camera bump, I know I did complain about it, even having a camera bump. I'm still not a fan of it. I do like how they integrated new camera software. So when you open up the camera, you have your adjustment slides on one side and the image on the other side. I do hope you're able to flip the two, because not everyone will want the slides on the left side and the image on the right side. As far as the cameras themselves go, yes, they intend to have you take the image like you're holding a book. One would think that would make the image you're taking a vertical image, not a horizontal one. The cameras do take the image horizontally, or at least wide enough that you can get the horizontal image. So you don't have to flip the phone in any weird orientation, hold it in any weird way to get the image that you want. I guess you can move the camera display to the other screen so that you can use the camera on the bottom screen to get very dynamic angles. Now, how well the camera works, according to them, it's cameras that professional photographers use. Professional photographers can use any camera. They're professionals. They know how to make the best out of an odd situation. If they don't have the best camera, the camera they have on hand becomes the best camera to get the best picture it can. They know what they're doing. So Microsoft saying that doesn't really invoke any confidence in me that, oh, these cameras are amazing. But it's doubtful that they would put a bad camera in this newer version of the Duo, because the first one got such a terrible rap for not having a good camera on it. So again, we'll have to see how the camera itself works. I won't say I'm excited for it. I am excited to see how the software works, because seeing them with the sliders and being able to crop and edit and adjust the image, it seemed very interesting. It's not something that I do very often, but having it available to me, I could see myself getting into that, especially as they start to do thumbnails and stuff like that for this channel here. Another unique feature that they had that, again, I thought was very smart on Microsoft's part, was the pen attachment to the front. Now, what they did, they integrated a wireless charging coil or whatever it is into the front of the phone, the same exact place where the original Duo could have the pen mount. Now when you mount the pen, it can charge the pen. Now, if this only works for the new Surface Slim Pen 2, that would be a shame, because I have the original Surface Slim Pen, and it's my complaint that I always have to carry around its little dock to charge the pen. And that's why I actually stopped taking the pen with me. I couldn't trust that A, I'd remember to charge it at night, and B, the charge would last long enough for me to write down what I want to write down. They turned a happy accident into a purposeful function. Again, I didn't see that coming. I didn't even think about that. So Microsoft, good on you. You're using every aspect of the Duo to make productivity more efficient. And that's what the Duo is about. Now, also, the camera hump at the back is slightly angled so that when you flip the phone into its phone posture, the magnets on the front of the Duo do connect to the camera bump on the back, but it stays flush. So yes, it won't close as close as the original Duo. It'll be slightly angled, but it will be flush with each other. Again, smart on their part. But yes, I am happy with what I saw on for the Duo 2. Now, as for what I didn't see and for what they didn't say, they didn't mention the speakers on the Duo 2. The original Duo had a single speaker on top of the left screen. It was good enough, and if you use certain apps, you were able to boost the sound, and like I said, it worked. It was functional. They didn't mention anything about the speakers on the Duo 2, which leads me to believe it might still be the single firing speaker up top. If so, that's a shame. The Duo 2 is such an amazing device. It would be folly on their part to not have added a speaker, at least one speaker on each side, for that more dynamic sound. Not many people are going to be watching things full screen, but with the screen curved in the middle, the bar that was in the original Duo that divided the two screens, it's pretty much gone based on what I see. So having a video play on both screens as one large video shouldn't be as obtrusive. That bar is gone. The image should be way more clean. So I really do hope that maybe they just forgot to mention it, but I do hope they put dual speakers in the Duo, one on each side, or if I'm lucky, like I had asked, two on each side, at the top and bottom of each screen, for the more dynamic surround sound. Also, they didn't show much of the software. It is running Android 11 based on what they said, which means Android 11 for the Surface is done, or for the Duo is done. But they didn't show you any new features of Android 11. They showed you everything that the original Duo could do, as in expand to both screens, move an app from one screen to the other, watch a video, turn it so it's more akin to a tablet in vertical mode. But they didn't show you any new features that are unique to Android 11. So I am curious to see exactly how well it does function and what they did add. I really do hope that they add the Write Anywhere feature that is akin to the Scribble feature on the iPads, because you are able to pull up your Google keyboard and use that to input text via your pen. You can check out my tips and tricks video on how to do that if you long for something like that. But like with the Scribble on the iPad and One UI, I think it's One UI 3 or maybe it's 4, whichever the Z Fold 3 comes with, you're able to take any text field and write in that field, and it converts it to text that the phone can read, and you can do your search or whatever that way. It's so convenient, not having to type on the keyboard with two hands. Just having the phone there, you already have your pen in hand and just write wherever you were trying to write in to get to where you're trying to go. The Duo would work so well with that feature. I really do hope that it is in Android 11. I do hope that Android 11 runs more smooth, has less bugs, and has many of the features that will make the Duo 2 the device I hope it can be. The potential is there, again, based on the images and the videos. The hardware is definitely there, but again, it's the software that will make or break this device. And if this device doesn't do well, if the critiques on the device aren't more positive, at least compared to the original Duo, there's a good chance we won't see a Duo 3. And that's something I'd rather not have, because as it stands, the Duo line is the most interesting line of mobile devices out right now. And yes, I know that they have Z Fold 3s and Flips and all kinds of stuff coming out, and I love those too, but the physicality of the Duo is just so interesting, and the potential that they have there is so much more than you can do with regular folding, or it's odd me saying regular folding, but than you can do. It's so much more that I do hope that they keep the Duo line going. So with that said, talking about the Surface Duo 2 and the untapped potential that it does hold, this is what I'm into.